This is Lee with 82 Gaming 12 on YouTube channel Sons of Liberty 75. And no, this isn't a political video or a rant or anything. I'm just trying to decide what game or games to tackle next. So I've got the Battle of Monmouth Courthouse set up with GMT's American Revolution series game and SPI's magazine game that is using the, Wellington versus Ney, or the Ney versus Wellington. Can't remember which way the title actually goes. That has to do with Quatre Bras. And I really like that system and the way that the sequence of play is. It's kind of really different. But it was a very tactical oriented system. And I was disappointed that they didn't do other battles. There's so many other battles they could have done with that, using that system. And of course you have Wellington's victory using that system with Waterloo. But I mean, there's so many other, especially smaller battles, Bill, that they could have used that. And even the American Revolution, there's so many battles they could have, and maybe they did more that I'm only aware of Wellington's victory, Wellington versus Ney, or Ney versus Wellington, can't remember which way it goes, and the Monmouth Courthouse. Now, well, let me see. I think they did Camden, maybe. I think there's another one they did do. I'm not for sure. Maybe somebody knows. I need to look to see. But that system could have really been used for so many other battles that, especially the Peninsula War, that system, I think, would have worked really well. And maybe because there's not a lot of a huge following of the Peninsula War, and so I just found it odd that they didn't, use that system in, creating more battles. Easily they could easily done those in a magazine like they did these others. And so I have that set up, and it's gonna be Lee's advance. So it'll be the first part of the battle with the British rear guard and Lee advancing to try to take advantage of a numerical advantage. And Lee took some of his forces to the left to try to outflank the rear guard, while his main force was coming up to engage. And Lee was just, of course, he's going to be court-martialed later, but Lee was not a very good commander. And he failed in being specific on orders and making sure that all of his commanders knew what was going on. So there's a lot of confusion. And later on, when they're forced to retreat and they get back to Washington, Washington is really upset that they were retreating. But it's, I guess, not really a very talked about battle of the American Revolution. I think it's considered one of the longer battles, maybe, of the American Revolution. But I was looking for information, good background information on just on YouTube, which you can't rely totally on YouTube for historical information. You've got to get in and really dig into books and things, not just rely on what's on YouTube. YouTube doesn't always have historical accurate stuff. So, but I did find a pretty good video that I watched, and maybe I'll put the link for that video here. But again, I'm still working through the Glory of the Empire Vimiero game, so I haven't stopped that. I don't have a whole lot of turns left, and I was thinking, I'm bringing Weiss's cavalry brigade over, and again, they shouldn't be able to just march or ride across from the eastern ridge over to the southwest part of Vimiero. They should have to go back up around east of Toledo. That actually southeast of Toledo, and circle around. But there's that rough terrain and the ravine and everything. They can just go right across there. It's not there. So again, that's it interferes with the battle historically, because I can just take that cavalry and I just bring them right across. So that's that issue. And I've already made a big video about that, so I'm not going into that again. And so I've got other things that I want to look at. I've got the Great Battles of Alexander. I have the Diadochi or Diadochi, maybe, module of Alexander's successors and those battles. And I haven't ever played those. I also have the Tyrant module, and I years ago I had that, and I really got a lot of enjoyment out of those scenarios, because they're a little bit more competitive, because the Alexander battles, he doesn't really have anybody challenging him. He's just too great of a commander. But on the Tyrant, of course, he's not involved. So you've got a pretty evenly matched armies a lot of times. And so, but I want to look at the Diadochi, or however you pronounce that, the successors. Diadoch, maybe, I'm not for sure. But, so I've got that, but I've got Monmouth Courthouse set up, and I'm going to compare those two, using those two systems. The SPI system, which is based on the Wellington versus Ney game system, which is also used in Wellington's victory. And then you have that's not the GMT, that's the SPI. So the SPI is based on the Wellington versus Ney, and then the GMT is the Battles of the American Revolution, whatever that system's called. And I think I've got all of those games. I used to teach history, and one of my favorite subjects to teach was the American Revolution. And there really hasn't been in my opinion, a really great American Revolution system. You have La Bataille used their system in the American Revolution, and of course you got the Great Battles, the GMT, and it's I don't know. I think I find their system a little clunky and not very smooth, and so I want to see how the Wellington's victory or Wellington versus Ney system works with the American Revolution, which um, you take those, they're really they're the same system. I mean, the same. You've got the same kind of tactics, I guess. But in the American Revolution, you had a lot of guerrilla warfare because that's just what the colonials had learned during fighting against the Indians, Native Americans, Redskins, whatever you want to call them. And so I want to see how those systems compare, and also how that Wellington system correlates with the American Revolution. You've got much smaller armies involved, and so I think you've got opportunity. Somebody's got an opportunity to really dive in there and maybe take hold of that era of American Revolution, and even like drew a blank here, the French and Indian War, and so I don't know if I'd tackle that or not. I've got some things I'm working on, but I just haven't been able to sit down and just complete them with a couple of different games, but just some ideas and so forth. But this is just my thoughts. I've got also Hoplite. I've got Atlantic Chase that I don't know but I've never played it. And Fighting Formations, I really like that system. What else do I have? Oh, I've got that La Bataille. What's the name of that battle? Culm, I think. Kulm, I think. That was in the magazine. It was what was it? What was it? Can't think of it now, anyways. But I've got that I need to get out, and I've got all those La Bataille games. I've got a lot of different things, and I guess I need to just kind of pull out and make a list, and then maybe get some comments about what do people want to see, because there's not a whole lot of playthrough videos on these various games, and I personally enjoy watching playthroughs, but there's not a lot out there, and so that's why I do mine. I do the playthroughs, but I don't know what the people want to see played. I've got the Civil War series that does the let's see, Stonewall Sword. I think that's it. System. Herman had designed. I've got I don't know if they've got something new coming out, but there's a couple of those I haven't played through. But there's so many that I have that if you want to see a playthrough of one of them, you just go watch one of those videos. And I like that system for the Civil War. I'm just kind of rambling, trying to think what else I have that I would like to get on the table. Um, I've got, let's see, I got Luthen. That's the Clash of Arms. Um, Battles of Reason. That system is kind of, I think, kind of, uh, it's a difficult system, I think. I think it's more difficult than La Bataille. What else do I have? I was at one time really big on carrier, World War II carrier, Pacific carrier games, but I don't really have any that I'm interested in really doing anything with at the present time. I don't, can't think of, can't even think of any that I have. So, but I'm just rambling here. Really not anything specific to say. I do appreciate the support that I get from, the support that I get is just seeing people watch the videos, the views. I've already talked about how I don't care about likes or stuff like that, even subscribers. But if you subscribe, I appreciate that. It shows that there's people out there that are enjoying or finding use in my videos. And so I've tried to I get so wound up sometimes on political stuff and other stuff. And I don't need to do that on this video, on this channel. This channel's just specifically for my playthroughs and games and stuff. So I'm gonna, I don't know if I can promise you that I won't put one out there, but I'm really gonna try to not put any of that out on this channel. I don't have another channel, but I guess if I wanted to spout off about stuff happening in the world, I could just create another channel. So I appreciate those that just held on and stayed with me when I went through that period of just so much, I guess, strife that I was having concerning politics. And, I don't want to alienate anyone. And I think maybe I did with probably some of my comments or rants and so forth. We're all Americans, and we're entitled. That's what's so great about this country. You're entitled to your own opinion about stuff. And so I don't want to alienate or I don't hate people that don't agree with me. I think that's where we learn whether or not what we're thinking is right or wrong. Through disagreement. And if I can convince you, fine. If I can't, that's fine too. That's what makes this country so great. But I'm going to really try to stay focused on this channel, just on gaming and doing playthroughs. I don't do reviews and unboxings, stuff like that. I've so much of that out there already. You don't need me doing that. I just like doing the playthroughs, showing you how a game's played, and I'm enjoying doing it. I enjoy talking because I don't teach anymore, and I think that's one way I can get the words that I need to get off every day. I can get those out when I do the videos. And I enjoy talking about history. So if there is a game that you'd like to see played, let me know. I may have it, and then again I may not. And I've got a lot of Napoleonic games, and some of them are not La Bataille, or the other ones, the Viva la Emperor, which I want to play get one of those on the table. I haven't done one of those in a while. And there's a what is it? drew a blank again. What do you call that when somebody's in a fortress and you've got to break in there and capture it? Siege. They have a siege that I guess I need to look at. I don't know if I'm so interested in doing the siege warfare, but that's one of the ones that I'm trying to think which game that is. What's the battle? I think it has to do with against the Austrians, I think. Anyways, so that's Didier Roy, his system. It's there's parts of it that I don't know. I guess I struggle with, and I think the language barrier is one thing. When the rules are changed from one language to another, everything doesn't always translate smoothly. But I like that system, and there's a lot of things about it that I like. So, but I need to get that back on the table. There's so many that, I wish I just had a room that had just tables, and I could just set up, 4 or 5 games and just, go from one to the next and do that. I really like doing those comparisons where I have, multiple publishers with one battle. I did that with Talavera. I really enjoy doing that to show how each designer tackled different aspects of that battle. So that's some of the things I'm thinking about. And if you have like a specific game that you'd like to see played through, let me know. I might have it. And maybe I don't do a complete, from start to finish, but I could do several turns and show different aspects, mechanics, and so forth of that game. That's what I like doing. I like trying to help people out with doing the videos. The Thursday night gamers. I was so excited every time they had a new video out. They had such chemistry, those guys, and I don't know. And that's the Kevin Zucker. They did Kevin Zucker. Pretty much that's all they did, the Operational Studies Group games. And I thought they had such chemistry. I loved the banter back and forth with those guys. And I don't know what happened. If COVID, seems like COVID came along and they just kind of melted away. And I don't know if something happened to one of those guys or a couple of them or something or what happened, but I don't know. I don't know. I thought they did a great job of presenting those games and just having fun. And, I'm a solo gamer. There's not really anybody in my area where I live that is into this kind of stuff down here in Texas, specific where I'm at. I had somebody at one time that I played a couple times, but kind of things come along in life, and you lose touch or whatever, and they move or whatever happens. But there's just not a gaming club or whatever. That'd be kind of neat if there was I belong to a gaming club, and you just get together and can play some of this stuff. But and I don't go to the conventions and things like that. So, and I've played some on Vassal. Played somebody over in another country. We was like different time zones. I had to get up like early in the morning, like 2 or 3 in the morning to play. So some of that didn't work out, but Vassal's a great place to play people. But I really haven't got into that. I think because I've got an older computer tower. I got a laptop, but I don't think it can handle. I don't know if it can handle the Vassal. But yeah, just some thoughts about what's maybe going to happen with different games. Of course, I'm going to have the Monmouth Courthouse comparison. That'll be hitting the channel. I'll probably do an introduction video before long, and finish up the Glory and Empire, and talk about that. I'm not going to harp on the terrain or anything like that. Just focus on what happened in the battle and some thoughts on that. It's a great system. I think it's actually my favorite tactical Napoleonic system. I just think it handles everything so well mechanically. Rules are so easy to understand and not manipulate, but to execute. And the charts, the books, everything is just, it's at such a high level of quality that I was just really impressed with what Lock and Load had done. And I have a lot of expectation for what they're going to, hopefully continue to do, and to see what happens with that. So interesting to see Fuentes del Noro, how they handle that. There's specific things in that battle that are interesting. Massena trying to outflank the British, and he did outflank, and he almost won that battle. I guess you could say, well, Wellington won because he held his ground, and Massena had to pull back, but he almost got Wellington. It was a pretty close fight there with that flanking move on the British right. Found that ford further down the river there and crossed, and was able to surprise the British a little bit there. So that's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see when that comes out. And the Sound of Drums, they have their Quatre Bras and Wagram, maybe is it Wagram? What is it? Anyways, that system, I like that. I like the fatigue, and there's other aspects that I like of that the game. The ILAO. I did a whole big old huge series of videos on that, and but they really they needed to clean up the rules, combat and so forth, and they hopefully they've done that in this new volume, which I don't know when that's coming out. It's I've already supported it through GameFound, so I'm excited to see that show up on my doorstep. But we're seeing that you got all kinds of games that I need to get to the table, and hopefully I can do that. Maybe I need to not play through complete battle, but just play so much or a smaller scenario, and I can hit more stuff that way, and still be able to show how the game's played and all of that and so forth. But I enjoy playing, seeing how the battle's going to come out. But on some of these, I could do a smaller scenario and get more variety, and get more content out there with some of these playthroughs, 40, 50 videos, and they're an hour and a half long each. That's a lot of time. You're looking at geez. I know I put in so many hours, especially in that ILAO video. Videos. That was a lot of time. But of course, you can fast forward or just watch a little bit. And I think that's what most people do. They watch a little bit and then move on to something else. And so I did a lot of short videos, but I really like doing those because you don't really see the game played. You just seeing, and that there's a lot of those where they just show you they move with the camera off and do stuff, and then they just come back and give you a review type thing. It's okay, but I like to see, the actual movement, the actual rolling, I don't have to see the dice, but I mean the actual combat and all, just the whole thing, so I can see how everything's done. And plus, the thing is, for me, it's just more enjoyment to watch, the whole process instead of, they show you how the setup is, and then they stop the video, and before you know it, they've already done everything. They come back and they just talk about it. That, how do you don't learn. As a player, you're not learning anything really that much on the game mechanics, how everything's played. So I try to show you everything, besides, I'm not showing you the dice. I don't have that, I don't put that other a screen up there with the dice, and I just don't do that. I don't want to mess with that. So I just roll and tell you, well, that's what the result is. You just have to trust me. And, I don't fidget the dice or anything like that. I just let it happen. Happens. And I might have one side that I want to win or whatever. But I'm not like fidgeting one way or the other to make the results. I want it to just be what happens. So here it is. What is this? 31 minutes and 31 minutes and just a bunch of la blah 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 blah. And I do a lot of that on my videos. So you can just fast forward. You don't have to watch this. But, I'm going to put it up there. And again, it's do what you want. That's what I do. I do what I want. And that's what you need to do. Do what you want. Life's short. Enjoy life. Don't let little things, big things, whatever, affect you. I know I've done that over the years. I'm 56, and you start thinking that, well, hey, something didn't happen to me. I don't have that many more years left. My mother's 85 and still going at it. So, maybe I picked up on her genes. My dad was 83 when he passed away. And but he had a lot of heart problems, and also got some kind of mental lapse, or I don't know if it was, I don't really want to say it's dementia. Did have the sundowner syndrome, but he had some mental issues with memory and things like that. But so 80s, like I said, my mother 85, and she still drives, and she didn't look like no 85-year-old woman at all, and she didn't act like one. So hopefully I picked up those longevity genes, and I got a whole bunch more years to throw cardboard around on the table. We'll just have to see how things go. But just live life. You don't know what's to come tomorrow, or later in the day, so forth. Just live your life and enjoy it. Don't let little things, big things, whatever. And we all do. We have things that happen. We all do that. So that's just the way it goes. But okay, so 34 minutes of really nothing but just yakking. And if you enjoy the yakking, well, great. I'm glad you enjoy the video. If not, then hey, you can fast forward or not even watch it. That's what you have. You have the option of fast forwarding through my stuff. If I get to talking about history or just non-related things. So just sitting here in the parking lot in Allsup's. That's something I had to do over here in this little town. So, but we'll see what happens with Wellesley, and who knows, able to just bring his cavalry, Weiss's brigade, straight across, because there's no restricting terrain there for cavalry, so he just comes from one side of the battle to the next, just straight across. And I'm sure I'll mention some of that in the final video when I talk about stuff. But, oh, and I could get off on I could just talk again about all of that, and there's no need. Um, but, as a history teacher and a history lover of history, I love history. I read a lot of history books, and I've read so many in my 56 years. But I got distracted there. I just love history. And when, I see a discrepancy or something, it's just, it bothers me. And so I get to talking about it. And I'm not always right. I mean, maybe I'm a little too harsh but whatever. But I'm willing to discuss it. Maybe you can change my mind, but I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to provide me with some first-hand evidence that there was no ravine or steep terrain in that area. The historical information I've seen tells me that there was. So, I don't know why that just keeps stirring up in me, but it does. And I just need to let it go, like I just said. Hey, don't let the little things bother you. So, I need to follow my own advice. Isn't that the way it usually goes? Someone's giving advice and they don't even follow their own advice. I could talk about that, but like I said, this is not where I want to talk about that. I just want to talk about gaming. So there's a whole slew of good YouTube content people out there. I could list a whole bunch of them. Big Board Gaming, I think he does a good job. And the thing is with him, he's just gonna give it to you straight. He's not influenced by any publishers or anything like that. He'll flat tell you, and he'll dissect. And his intellect in gaming is so fascinating. I just I love to watch his videos, and he opens up my mind to things that I didn't even think about concerning gaming and different things. I'd like to see maybe some playthrough. He kind of just does the reviews. I mean the after action reports. After he'll show you this and talk about it, and then he'll dissect some interesting little facets. And that's what's so great about his videos is when he does that, and that's where his strength is. So that's what he does. And so he's got a little niche there that, we get, grown-ards need to watch his stuff just for that, the intellectual side that he provides. And so, I subscribe to his channel. And there's others that I do too. I try to subscribe to most of the gamers out there to give them support. But I'm not able to watch everything they put out. But you know, I when I subscribe, of course, it pop up, and I'm on YouTube swiping all the time. I do that too much. So here we are, 40 minutes. Dang, I need to get off of here. All right, so that's what I got to say. Shoot me a comment if you got a specific game that you'd like to see played, and if I have it, I'll slap it on the table and do some videos on it. If I don't, then I don't know. I can't promise you that I'm gonna get it, but you know, I've got a lot that I haven't mentioned, so you know, there's pretty good odds that I might have it. So you know, let me know, and we'll see what I can do.